The death metal books. We have 3 today technically because apparently I had just completely missed that Justice League came out last time, so we're behind an issue on Justice League. We're starting with Justice League number 56. I like this cover a lot. I think it's a well-drawn cover and very indicative of John Johns' journey.
Oh, you know what? It was
life.
a very well-drawn cover. Yeah, it was. I'm not even... No, all jokes aside, it looked nice, and it was like, yeah, that's our John Johns right there.
That's our John Johns.
You know how you see a cover and it's like dramatized and all of that?
Mm-hmm.
I knew I didn't have to like guess and think, oh man, it ain't gonna be like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is actually what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's actually very true. This is the most honest comic book cover that we've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But last we left off with the Justice League, they were facing off against the Mindhunter, which is an alternate reality version of Bruce Wayne where he absorbed the Martian Manhunter's powers. And also they're going up against the Omega Knight, which is basically Perpetua's overpowered bouncer, I guess, to her throne. And she just obliterated the Justice League, but I guess not actually. Because the Omega Knight only seemed to have kind of pissed Nightwing off, a normal human being.
I think he dodged the blast.
Did he?
Which, you know...
What about Lex? He still has no powers.
He dodged it too, I think.
Dude, I just remember that page. They were all in the middle of the beam.
They just had to sell the next...
Though, man.
Yeah.
If you put your finger up to the sun and it appears larger, does that mean that your finger's looking to the sun?
You know what?
What if they were only just pretending to get hit by the laser?
That's true.
I'm gonna tell you this: Lex actually has an out, and we'll be able to speak about it later in the comic.
I didn't notice.
He has a potential out.
I didn't know this, but if you peep in the 2-page spread where the title is, you can see John Johns getting bodied in the distance.
No, let me go. Hold on, I'm still letting the iPad.
That first 2 pages.
Check that out. I did not notice that, man. Hold on.
But I'll continue until you get there. So also while they're getting obliterated by this beam, Hawkgirl just said, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna go save John Johns." And she ends up inside the Mindhunter's little mindscape thing where all that exists are 2 comfortable chairs because Bruce is bougie no matter what universe he's in, and a fire pit in the middle. She's basically like, wait, where am I? Where's John? And he said, we're inside his mind. Only panel you see is John John's struggling. And basically, Mindhunter makes a deal, essentially. He's like, I will stop hurting John Johns if you give me just mental connection to the Justice League. And Hawkgirl's like, no, I'll just kick your ass. You're only John Johns in a bat suit. That's not much better. In any case, Hawkgirl manages to escape the mindscape because before this, John Johns taught her how to protect her mind from psychic invaders. So she was just able to separate pretty easy. A thing that John Johns couldn't do, by the way.
That's so far, that's the only thing I've ever heard that Martian Manhunter did well was teach other people how to do his job.
I'm going to teach you how to kick my ass. It's actually pretty easy.
Hey, yo, Superman, you need to make your fucking mind ironclad? I got you, bro.
I won't do it for me.
Hey, yo, who's next?
Oh,
I see Mindhunter and Hawkgirl fighting in the background. Where's Martian Manhunter? Where is he losing?
That is Mindhunter still, no? Oh, I thought that was Mindhunter. That they were merging in the cover.
Yeah, in the cover, but you said on the 2-page spread.
You're right.
You could see him. You could see Martian Manhunter struggling in the distance.
That's what I thought. I thought that was him in the background, just getting with Mindhunter. Because the cover looks like they're melding together. Never mind, Josh.
Oh, you talking about over here? This one?
No, in that 2-page spread. I thought that was what was happening, really.
In this one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, whatever. Not a big deal.
Josh sent me
I was so
panel.
thirsty.
Yeah, Josh sent me a panel where I guess he dared to call John Johns tougher than he thought. And
Yeah, God.
And Josh was furious. He said
that was the whole reason Chris even knew that we missed one, because I went back and looked at that shit, and it was in the second page. Like on the preview, you get to see the first 3 pages on Comixology.
Yeah.
And it was just there in bold, just boldly there in the fucking preview. Like, whoa, how y'all gonna fucking say that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
He said he's much tougher on this world than mine, and I'm like, how? Just when I thought that John Johns couldn't get weaker, there's a weaker John Johns out there.
That's sad. It was supposed to be a compliment, but it just ended up
low bar.
Man.
So, Bat John Johns goes into his final form, and he tries to kill the hot girl, but we then.
He admittedly looks really.
He does. This is a
scary,
cool.
Right, cool shapeshift for him. Stuff.
He looks like Man Bat. I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Nightwing is like, shit, what do we do now? I'm stuck here, and he's looking for his friends, but he can't find them. And right before the Omega Knight launches up another beam to take down Nightwing, Detective Chimp comes through with the metal horse known as Comet, who can also turn invisible. Pretty, I guess, metal. And yeah, they're just trying to figure out what to do next because they got an invisible horse, but they can't run from the Omega Knight forever. At some point, the battle with Hawk Girl and Mindhunter continues. She manages. John John's like fires a laser beam at her axe thingy, sets it on fire, and then because the Martians are weak to fire, she just one-shot KOs Mindhunter with fire.
Quick question.
Yeah, she's got because nth metal and fire, which is like double the weakness.
Yeah.
To him, so I was like, all right.
Quick question.
Whatever.
Lit.
So if Martian Manhunter is weak against fire, how come he can shoot a really hot laser beam out of his eyes without dying?
Because I guess it's not cutting his skin. Like he's shooting it out. He's not taking it in. He can dish.
I mean,
but
I'm sure like it's gonna hurt his eyelids. I guess, right?
That's why he's got to keep them wide open. Get the fuck out of the way, eyelids.
I think the rays that he shoots from his eyes, I don't think that it's at that temperature in his eyes, or I think it becomes that once as it goes out. And
I know what you mean.
Whatever. No. He's not sending himself on fire.
Josh, I think you have a point.
Your boy Dobby. You know what I'm saying?
I think you got a point, Josh. It's more like his eye beams aren't fire. They're rays of heat.
He's shooting out ultraviolet lights, and I think they burn once they hit the target. It burns everything else because it's just light shooting out of his eyes. But
it's like a magnifying glass to the sun, but on a higher level. That's why, Brian. Shut up.
So is he weak against fire or weak against heat in general?
He's weak against fire specifically.
Fire.
Like, he can go to the beach and not die.
Martians are all about like kind of replicating their cells and configuring them and stuff, and I guess fire just kind of messes with all of that. It burns through it. I guess that's why that symbiotes are weak to fire too.
Yeah,
I wonder.
So
anyway,
while the rest of their teammates are like dying, they take a minute to be like, Kendra, John Johns, and they make out for a second, and then they're like, all right, let's get to work.
Kendra's the most supportive girlfriend in the fucking
dude.
world, bro.
Yeah.
Ever in the history of comics.
Oh my god!
And if y'all know otherwise, go ahead and let me know.
I will never forget that Justice League thing where she kept telling John Johns like, "Yo, I'm down, I'm ride or die, but this is a dumb idea."
He's been out of commission since then, basically, and then he didn't really say nothing until when they was in after they got released from the prison. He just said, "Kendra, my love, I must go and do something because I feel real raw about my decisions prior to this event." And she was just like, "Oh, all right."
I mean, Wonder Woman gave me
I'm down for you. I'm in your corner.
Wonder Woman gave me a whole ass mission. We could have done this together, but go for it. Live your truth. So yeah, everybody reunites. They have this tender moment. Is like, you know what? We're the Justice League. We could take down the Omega Titan. you know, because they're all wondering like how we're gonna beat this thing, and then Nightwing's like, I got a plan because I'm the Batman of this team, and
well, Lex really had the plan.
No, this is Nightwing's Nightwing has like first things first. Martian Manhunter, Starfire, and Cyborg go distract the Omega Knight, and then while they're doing that, Lex is to go up to the tower and try to repower it somehow because they're trying to use the tower's energy to kill the Omega Titan. So while they're doing that, Lex finally manages to do it. They trick the Omega Knight into shooting one of his beams at the Perpetua Tower thing, and it explodes on them, eliminating
real quick.
What?
Lex has some pretty good core strength to scale up that fucking tower.
He's been lifting in the Valley of Sorrow.
Like I would expect Nightwing to be able to do that because he has like gear and shit. But this dude's just wearing like a fucking robe, scaling up of like, how are you gonna climb up that shit? It doesn't even look like there's enough to really grab onto to get up there.
Make no mistake.
For what it's worth,
Lex is naked underneath that robe, so he's not wearing anything. He's been homeless for like the last year.
Bucky naked under the robe.
What were you gonna say, Josh?
No, I was gonna say like he's not like some wimp.
Yeah, no, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? He works out and does all of that extra shit, and is smart and builds technology. I had to sometimes remember he is a regular human scrapping with Superman.
Yeah.
I guess so does Batman, but we give him all his credit, right?
Right. That's true.
So Lex, we gotta put some respect on his name. He could scale a wall real quick. You know what I'm saying? It probably has plenty of footholds that they didn't
rock climbing. He goes rock climbing every Saturday.
For sure.
Right? Light. That's mad light. Before breakfast. He wakes up, does it. And then
he's been CrossFit for
Lex Luthor, dude.
20 years now.
Yeah. We could confirm that Lex is about that life.
For sure.
And we said we was gonna do this chapter briefly.
We got
I
time.
love how this podcast goes though sometimes.
We got time. So, the tower is destroyed and the day is seemingly saved, but turns out not so fast. They have a whole nother set of problems to deal with. The Legion of Doom is now free because and they're not,
and all three of them have an attitude.
I mean, yes, because the last time we saw them, they were thoroughly betrayed by their best friend in the whole wide world. So they're not thrilled,
Why can't they just be like, I'm just gonna go home now. Just drink a nice cup of tea, relax for a bit,
Because villains can't be happy, Brian. They can't just take a victory. They can't take a W and then walk away. They have to be extra about their W. This is a net positive for them, and they just couldn't resist. We now start with Justice League number 57. We start off with a little bit of a flashback from Nightwing, just being like, man, I thought the League was so cool when I snuck in to see them as Robin, and now I'm the leader of the League. We cut back.
Nah, bro, I feel like we gotta.
Yeah, no. I was just about to
a little bit. Huh?
I was just about to break it down a little bit.
Go for it. Yeah.
Wait, the Nightwing
part? I was about to just break it down a little bit too.
Man, listen. Well,
I'll give you the honors. Go for it.
Just kind of, get some.
No, I was gonna do the little exchange with Hawk Girl too, but if you wanted to go for it.
Nah, man. Nightwing kind of shows a huge vulnerability here, and I guess one that we don't normally see. I guess like in a lot of American comic heroes, at least me personally. But. He brings up the story that when he was younger, obviously maybe while he was still like a Robin, he was looking up to these other Justice Leaguers like, man, they got this shit on smash. There's nothing they can't handle, and he really looked up to that and idolized that, like any of us would, I guess, in that situation, right? I mean, we idolize sport figures and really smart people that I listen to and stuff. So shit, niggas was saving the world with superpowers. Hell yeah. Anyway, but then he talks about how they lost. They took a heavy L, And it was really hard for him to kind of deal with that because he's looking at this invincible Justice League that always figures it out. You know, yeah, I guess they have. That's how it's been written. And he was scared. You know, he was scared. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to like be a part of the process of thinking. He just wanted to get away from it. And that's kind of what led him to go on this mission in the first place. And I don't know. I didn't really care. I mean, we've already said before how, you know, this Death Metal series is kind of like not the greatest event ever. And that's kind of putting it in a really nice way. And it was my interest was really piqued here with this moment. I just liked it. I thought it was a little different. And it carried some momentum.
Right.
Because, you know, they touch back on it at the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
At the end of the issue. All right.
Yeah, they do have the moment where like he and Hawkgirl have the moment where they're, you know, talking about going to free the Legion of Doom, and it leads us into the current events where he asks her, "What are we gonna do once the Legion of Doom is free?" And 2-page spread, the Legion of Doom is wilding out, just trying to kill Nightwing, and that's when John Johns comes down and is like, "Enough!" You know, separates everyone, and I'm like, "All right, John."
I hope none of you have a lighter.
It takes a minute. Everybody takes a second. He's like, nobody. Oh, flamethrower's not here. Cool. The flamethrower guy. Remember the guy from Crisis?
Yeah.
Cool. So like the Legion of Doom takes a minute and is like, fuck, there's more heroes here. And then Sinestro loads up his like ultraviolet powers. But that's when Lex Luthor is like, I've come to rescue you, Legion of Doom. They're not having that. Sinestro...
And he looks at him like...
drops an ultraviolet construct of Lex Luthor in his big Luthor suit. And just slams
that's
down.
creative as fuck. That is very creative and petty.
Yeah.
Yes. Mostly petty, but yeah. Creative.
Why you hitting yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. He slams his naked body down into the ground, and it's like
he's scarcely clothed, but ultra fit.
His going commando body to the ground, and is like, "You betrayed us to Perpetua." And Lex has got a smile on his face, like he is not surrounded by people who are a billion times stronger than he is, and he's like,
He said, "I know I made a mistake."
Hear me out.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, he's like, "We will show the world why they were right to side with Doom." And I'm like, we just spent the last year and a half in a weird throne, powering some fucking evil magic thingy. We were not on the right side. I guess they're about to body Lex Luthor when Starfire just blasts Gorilla Grodd away and is like, Lex will face the consequences, but he needs to be alive when we do it, so if you want to kill him, you'll have to go through us. And Legion of Doom is like, okay. And they start fighting again. Pretty much. And Nightwing tries to get Lex away. They try to get on the fucking invisible horse pony thing. But then Detective Chimp realizes, like, oh, you guys didn't kill the Omega Knight yet. You just got rid of his arm. And it is just towering over them. I thought this panel was actually really cool. It was, like, scaled very nicely.
Yeah.
The Omega Knight is just, like, unleashes a blast. Everybody.
It looks like something really deadly, like it was initially, you know.
Yeah.
So,
but everybody survived it, of course.
Yeah, they ain't chumps. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I mean, they people survive hits from Galactus and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does the Omega Knight have like a bunch of chains on him? Is that like just an aesthetic thing, or was he like chained up before?
It's an aesthetic thing, I guess.
So he was like, "Oh, this would look pretty nice."
They don't make
before I obliterate the Justice League. Let me put.
Everything's metal, bro.
Brian, they don't make.
That was definitely by the Batman Who Laughs design. He was like, "Hell yeah!"
No,
he's like, "Let me hit up a hot topic real quick."
You guys are missing the point. It's that they don't make belts his size, so he's so big he can't. So yeah, they're just like fighting the Omega Knight now. Sinestro does this cool shield, holds him back for a second, but Nightwing is like, "Fuck out of here! We gotta." He saves him. He saves Sinestro in the last minute. He's like, "All right, we can't just like ignore this fucking giant monster." So, he pretty much bands everybody together, and he has John Johns create a psychic link between the Justice League team and the Legion of Doom team, and they do a new plan.
He can like cancel that, right? Later, like he could just be like, "Yep, no more psychic link between you guys."
Yeah.
Nobody amongst this team really has psychic powers.
Don't worry, I don't think there was a mindset.
Yeah.
By Snyder.
For sure.
I think it'll be great if one of the villains just started to troll them by like thinking of stupid shit the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, that'd probably be Grodd. He is a... But in any case, new plan is a little bit of similar to the old plan. Distract the Omega Knight again, so that Lex can go over to the tower and repower it, using the ultraviolet powers of Sinestro. They use some of his energy to kind of power the tower as it stands now, and then they unleash another blast straight through the Omega Knight, defeating it once and for all. It's a pretty cool moment, honestly. Sinestro is my favorite in this group of villains, so I'm glad he got to do
easily, man. Sinestro's the man. That was the only thing about Rebirth I didn't care for about how they treated Sinestro, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Had to be some casualties.
And BT dubs. This means Sinestro used all of his ultraviolet power when doing that, so he'll be back to...
Also, the rest of the Doom forces that they had latent within them, which,
true.
I guess the Still Force and the other thing...
the Atlantis thing?
The weird... No, not the one, the anti-Amazonian shit. The tier of the...
That was Atlantis, I think. They got that from Atlantis. That's what I was thinking of. I could be wrong.
It was weird. It never did anything different. They just said they had it, and it was just like, okay.
This was like what?
They played Barbara.
This was like a year and a half ago. I don't really recall.
Yeah.
To be age. So
I'm over it.
Nah. Yeah, the day is saved. Everybody is like around. The Legion of Doom is still pissed, and they're like, "We're gonna kill Lex now for sure." And then and Lex is like, "All right, stop it. That's enough. This is very counterintuitive for what we want to do. I got a man out there. He's going to collect what we need to finally take down Perpetual once and for all. You kind of need me around for that." And we all know that guy is actually Lobo, who is going around collecting shards of the 10th metal that they used in the original metal.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty funny story.
I don't know.
I'm not going to share because I don't fully remember it enough to tell it.
But that's the gist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody just makes peace, and they're like... John Johns is like, will you be on the side of good? It's like he traps them in his mindscape, and he's like, you rejected me then, Lex. There's a saying on Earth that we also had on Mars. If only I knew what I knew then, what I know now back then. So, are you going to be the same old Lex, or are you going to do the good thing? Lex doesn't particularly answer. He just creates a boom tube and teleports himself and the Legion of Doom away. And at that point, I forget. I think Cyborg says like, "Wait, he had a boom tube the whole time? He could have just brought us here by teleportation."
Yeah, just like that. Like, god damn.
Yeah. And then we close out with the closing of the loop that Josh mentioned earlier. Is Nightwing brings his league together, and he recalls that by the time he saw the league when he was a kid, he thought they were perfect, larger than life. But over the years, he saw them struggle, and he showed them their biggest failure, and it scared him at first. But now he's reminded what the league really is: a group of people that, no matter what the challenge, they do what they have to do to inspire to each other to be heroes. And it closes out with Lex arriving on the scene as Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing are all fighting the Castle Bat, who is now a massive mech for some reason that we'll find out soon. And Lex Luthor blasts a hole straight through it with the Legion of Doom headquarters in a really cool final page of this issue. Very, very fun issue. Had a good time with the Justice League, honestly. Like, it was kind of okay at first, but I feel like the last 2 issues were pretty good. We didn't nearly go as hard on John Johns as I thought we would. I thought this was going to be a straight-up roast fest, but I guess there's only so many times we could beat that invisible horse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was the cover, man. It was the cover. They let us know.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't try to sugarcoat it or nothing. It was like, yeah, man, come on. You know what time it is. Don't be surprised. Yeah. Let it go.
There were no illusions of John Johns really triumphing on his own.
Are there any John Johns fans left? And I mean, like, #1 fans. Like, nah, fuck that. He could beat Superman and all of that other shit.
If they are, comment below. Let your
there's no way they listen to us anymore.
Yeah,
we would have heard from them niggas. They probably the reason we got Susha strike, man.
Yeah, they snitched on us to Shueisha.
Sueisha. I say by the way, I say
Sueisha.
Okay.
I say Susha.
I say Susha like that because
I wonder why
up here.
I wonder why Martian Manhunter is always on the opposite side of the room from Starfire. Any thoughts on that, guys?
What?
My thoughts are you are definitely reading way too into that. I've never noticed that in my life.
I never noticed that. But in any case, we have another death metal book.
Maybe because she has fire coming out of her fucking head. Is that what you are alluding to?
Yeah, chill Starfire, 6 feet away.
Yeah, I don't know when you decided to do all that extra shit with your hair. I remember when it was just hair.
I recall.
Now I gotta keep away from you.
Yeah. Let's move on to Dark Knight's Death Metal #5. Last we left off, the Justice League were getting manhandled by the Robin King all by himself. And that's when the Darkest Night, the Batman Who Laughs, comes down and he's like, all right, peace out. I'm going to fight Perpetua now. So I'll leave the Castle Bat to finish you guys, and deuces wild. And the Trinity, Harley Quinn, and Swamp Thing are all fighting the Castle Bat. This is actually where we left off on Justice League. We all know what happens here. They're on the ropes, fighting their asses off here against the Castle Bat. He's about to smush Wonder Woman, but that's when the Legion of Doom shows up and saves the day by essentially the Castle Bat is a Bruce Wayne that infused his soul into Gotham, and that's why he's this building mech. So what they did was they pulled his soul out of this thing and then transferred it into a Brainiac Gotham bottle thing where Gotham is inside of a small snow globe. Harley Quinn immediately dispatches it, killing the fucking Castle Bat.
I would have liked to keep it personally, but I guess I guess I'm the idiot, huh?
I mean, he's not getting out of there, I guess. So I guess it was a little excessive. But in any case,
whoa.
Back on Earth 49, Perpetua is still doing her thing, either subjugating or destroying worlds. And that's when Batman Who Laughs pulls up. And I thought they were already at this point where they were fighting, but
yeah. Because the other story focused on something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff was happening while the other guy was traveling around figuring stuff out.
Yeah. So she just chucks a world at him, and he dodges it pretty smooth. And he goes,
whoa. Nigga hit the spot dodge real quick.
Yeah. He goes,
down B. I mean, down dodge.
Yeah, you know, Brian. Come on. You're going to get these hands soon, though, bro. It's been a while. Destroy your link, bro.
Yeah. In any case,
you had one day, bro. You had one time with Mario and Link. I remember the beginning of Smash 4 before I played it. You got me. I remember that. Anyway.
Yeah.
You can't get caught up in your Smash Bros talk, dude.
Yeah, I won't.
All right, so essentially they are all gathered in the Legion of Doom headquarters watching the battle commence, and they're asking, okay, so what now, Lex? And this is a really long, complicated plan, I guess. At a certain point, Lex explains that, all right, so what we're going to do instead of thinking big, our problem is that we've been thinking big, we got to think small now. And in so many words, he goes back and he starts to think about when his dad talked to him about like being this kind of insignificant speck in the universe. So just like when he would visit this planetarium and he was like spooked out by one time the planetarium's video of the universe creation went backwards, freaked him out. He talked to his dad, and his dad was like, yeah, that's just kind of what's going to happen at some point anyway. So it's not necessarily wrong. The sun's going to envelop the whole universe. So, just try to get as big as you can right now while you can. And that's kind of what what has set him on his path to be bigger than everybody, and just kind of, it gives a little bit of a crux as to why he has such a beef with Superman, because nobody can be bigger than that guy. He's so fucking
no
big.
matter what.
So he's basically like, and Batman's like, okay, so what's the point? We need crisis energy to fight Perpetua. And that's when Lobo comes in, who has been collecting shards of the 10th metal, as we said before. And this is where I get a little bit like memory fucked up. So the whole thing is that like now they have to fight them with the truth, which is essentially these metal 10 stars to metal 10th shards that are from the Forge of Worlds, and using these shards, they're trying to create a machine that will be able to destroy Perpetua once and for all. Do you remember more of the details about it? Because I know there's like a little bit more to it than I thought. I think it's more like they're trying to free the other universes of this, that Perpetua's already destroyed. Just kind of like undo all that madness. And
are you talking about the debate between using crisis energy and anti-crisis energy, and what the point of him?
Yeah, just like it says that he's like, build my machine to use it to unknot the timeline and restore everyone's memories of pretty much. I guess that's what he means. Yeah. It's just recreating these universes using everybody's memories by creating this machine with the 10th metal stuff. And that's when like Wonder Woman's like kind of confused, like, but she's like, I used this anti-crisis energy that you're talking about against Perpetua, and it didn't fucking work. So crisis energy was more powerful. He's like, nah, I wasn't. When you used it the first time, like it only made her stronger. So it's long and complicated, and it's revealed that like this is entirely kind of Wonder Woman's fault. And not like in a way where she was incompetent or anything. She just didn't know. And it turns out that Bruce is dead. Like Batman is right now dead, and it's the reason he can use the Black Lantern ring is because he is dead himself.
Which was kind of like a bomb drop in a good way. Like, because I thought maybe it was like, oh, he's just so cool and so edgy, he can use the Black Lantern ring, and or like he was dying or something. He just said straight up, like, look, I'm dead. Yeah. Like, so all right, before I even give more thoughts to that, I know there's a little bit more to the comic, but just specifically about the anti-crisis energy versus crisis energy.
Thank you.
So, again, this is my interpretation, right? I don't remember what happened between Wonder Woman and Perpetua specifically. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but, I don't remember what happened when they used this energy, but what Lex is trying to suggest is that, like, look, the only way to beat her is by making everything valid, everything that's ever happened valid. Mm-hmm. And the reason Wonder Woman hesitated was because she understood, like, yo, this would mean a lot of people are going to stay dead, because that was the point of using crisis energy. Every time there's a crisis, things got reset, and they was able to will their way to a brand new future or something like that. And like, even if it meant changing the past, and it just that just wasn't what they needed to fight Perpetua, and that's it. That's all it really boils down to, unfortunately. But it was, I don't know, it was interesting because obviously we know that this is leading to a reboot, and this was kind of before we found out any big news drops about it. This was like the largest hint, the most obvious kind of scream towards it, and I think we had a lot of clues in that issue of Death Metal when they showed Zorn or whatever. I said Zorn. That's
shit. Damn.
The Void.
No, not the Void. The Chronicler. I think his name was
the Chronicler. Sure, he had a different name, but yeah, he was really kind of glorifying the point that, oh man, these beautiful stories that are told with this optimism, like regardless of what happens, like, these people make wonderful situations. So it was he was implying that reality changes on a whim based on their will, that they create these situations, but he was also saying on the other hand that this reality isn't unique because that happens because their character and what goes along and their quote unquote stories that happen are so impactful and so powerful and strong that it can make anything happen. So I guess again, this is all like just piecing it together, right? Like, because it's not explicitly implied, but now I know that that's what he's saying. Like, look, you don't have to be afraid of facing whatever the consequences of doing what we need to do is. That we can move forward and everything's still going to be okay because that's who we are. We're going to make a way. Again, this isn't explicitly said, but this is just from
interpretation.
Interpretation, and then what I know now also after the fact.
Right. So yeah,
it was nice. I felt like it was kind of deep.
Yeah, I agree.
Between the characters, it was a really touching moment because it was like Wonder Woman being weak-willed, which is really different. We don't really.
Maybe not weak. I don't know if weak-willed, but
her
vulnerable.
Character's opposite of that, right? She's
I don't know about. I think like you meant vulnerable more than weak-willed.
Yeah.
But
like she was really. No. I say weak-willed because when she had her moment of hesitation, when you're saying, "Oh, this was all her fault," that was her not being decisive. Because honestly, personally, I feel like you can't weigh lives. You can't say that the lives of many outweigh the lives of one. I just don't agree with that, and I guess that's a deeper conversation for another day. But we're talking about the end of reality, or at least the enslavement of life as it is.
Yeah.
So if you had to sacrifice your friends to do that, that is the right decision. I hope that none of that would ever happen in our actual life, and you know what I'm saying. But if it came down to one of you guys and y'all had to make a decision, and I was gone, come on, son. You got to do what the fuck you got to do, and that's on you if you don't make that. Yeah, I guess I'm just defending why I said weak-willed.
Yeah.
Because that's what she's all about, man. She's
strong-headed and like she's
strong,
decisive. She would kill a motherfucker.
Even when it's hard to. She doesn't make the easy decision. It was just that.
Yeah.
She was human for a moment, and that's okay.
Yeah.
She was vulnerable, and that was cool.
Yeah.
I like this, man, because I really didn't care for this event, and I really liked the last two issues. I just thought the writing was really nice. Even if the plot wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think this is like the little slow moment that this event needed because there was a lot of shit happening one after the other, and we finally get a moment to breathe and have some character moments. And it's kind of funny where this is becoming more of a Wonder Woman event than a Batman one. She's becoming more the protagonist. Yeah, I think it's like better because not better or more interesting because this whole thing was like billed as a more Batman centric thing, but Wonder Woman's kind of like the protagonist of this event. And on top of Batman being revealed to be dead this entire time, Superman is dying at the moment.
Yeah, or worse, turning
into
evil.
Darkseid.
So you know what happened. So
it's
bad. It's bad or worse.
Yeah, so they don't have a lot of time. And she's like, I was wrong to think that we could use the crisis energy to restart the multiverse. Instead, we will unknot the rope, and everything will matter. And this is, like Josh said before, this is the biggest hint at what DC is doing right now, which is the upcoming DC Omniverse, where, you know, they've been very coy about the details specifically, but the crux of it is that everything will have happened, and writers will have more of a free reign in terms of continuity and stuff like that, because there won't be one solid continuity that everybody gets to draw from. I'm very interested to see where that goes. I feel like they're releasing the shackles of the number 52. Right? They're like, we're like Marvel now, where there's mad other universes and, you know, whatever.
Well,
things
because
Marvel's happen. Not even doing this, where I feel like they're just like, all right, for a while, there won't be like a shared universe event like this, where everything is going to be affected all at once. You know, where people will be able to tell their stories without, you know, any kind of like pressure to adhere to what we're doing as a company. There'll be more like standalone-ish stories, and I'm kind of down for that as someone who's suffering from event fatigue. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's get through this event, which we get to one of the coolest ideas of this event, where Wonder Woman turns to Lobo. And she's like, so that thing about your healing factor, is that true? And I knew immediately what she was thinking in this moment. And Lobo's like, yeah, buddy. And, you know, Superman goes down to recruit the villains of the DC universe that were shackled in by Perpetua. And Wonder Woman goes over to the Rock of Eternity, which is the home of Shazam, essentially, and is like, we have to go through down there. That's the straightest route to the forge, so we can create our machine. And Lex gives her the Journal of Carter Hall, because it's the most shared and thorough account of the DCU's history, which is very smart, honestly.
Yeah.
Because if you guys know Hawkman's story, he's a person who's constantly reincarnated through time. So he's been through the entire DC universe, essentially. And his journals will provide the guide work for what Wonder Woman has to do to essentially create the Omniverse. So she goes down with her army of fucking Lobo, the army known as the Main Men. Huge fan. I love that. Because if you don't know, Lobo's powers is that like he doesn't just heal, like if he can essentially regenerate himself with every wound. So, or he can like recreate himself out of a drop of his blood.
Out of a drop?
Yep. It's just.
I thought maybe he just had to cut a finger off and then just that'll sprout, and then he cuts the finger off and that'll sprout.
It's similar to like Wolverine's healing factor, is that he can like kind of respawn out of a blood cell if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But Lobo is like that much more, because he can actually like just shadow clone jutsu himself, using his own wounds, which is hell yeah.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, the Superman.
Which one's the real Lobo then? In that, whatever.
It won't matter.
Like they're all the real Lobo.
At this point, they're like, we're hitting the reset button. It doesn't matter what we do at this point. So the Supermen are all outside of the Earth. They have to just like blast their way into the through like the core of the multiverse, which is the Earth, and to do that to destabilize it. So I guess it makes it easier for Wonder Woman to like create the forge and all that stuff. And they're doing this all while Perpetua.
This was so dope. This is just so dope.
You know, yeah, I agree.
Why couldn't they have this interaction like the whole?
Why couldn't this come sooner? But we'll get to that when we get to it, I feel. Meanwhile, Perpetua and the Batman Who Laughs are still fighting in space, but then they realize, wait, what's going on over there? What are you doing?
Yeah, huh? Mid scrap.
Wait. Pause. Time out.
He's like, ha, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, pretty much. And Batman Who Laughs for the first time in this entire event is nervous. He looks over, he's like, wait, what? What are they doing?
Oh, that's bad.
No.
He had no idea in their mind that they was gonna really be that reckless.
Yeah.
Have we dropped the bomb already? Like, what's happening?
I don't think so yet.
They're gonna fucking destroy the Earth.
Oh yeah.
That's so that they can't use the Earth to generate the dark multiverse worlds anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Batman Who Laughs is not thrilled, so he tries to get away, but Perpetua's like, "Where do you think you're going, bitch?" He can't go anywhere because he's still fighting Perpetua. So he just sends his alternate dark universe Earths after them. He like flings planets at Earth. And while Superman and his team are getting to work, Superman just gets up. He's like, "Oh shit! I sense his evil Earth's coming," and he turns over to everyone. The army of the dead, led by Batman, and the villains. Sergeant Rock is in the background, and shit's about to get real. More evil Batman show up, and everybody's like, "Shit! What are we gonna do now?" And I think that's Guy Gardner who says this. Oh no, wait. Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, says, "We do what Diana told us to do in her speech. We fight like there's no tomorrow." As a bunch of Earths are raining down on our Earth, and hell yeah. I feel like this could have happened way sooner, and it made this event a little bit more interesting. But I'm all for it. I hope we get some actual cool fight scenes out of this. We still have...
the fact that it's so many Earths coming means that no, I don't think we're gonna have any epic solo fights.
Well, at least I'm not counting on solo fights. I meant like at least get some cool like army fighting scenes where stuff. It would be cool to get some like dope big art from Greg Capullo where he's drawn like a bunch of superheroes in like a 2-page spread or something. But I guess death metal's kind of won us back. We were like waning off, or at least me. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Josh and Brian.
I'm excited for. Yeah, I was definitely waning off. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
And you know what? I opened that possibility last time we were talking about it. Like maybe this is just like kind of a slump, but what's been happening so far has not been great. But with these Justice League books and this death metal issue, feels a little better. And I don't know. I think we have like 2 left for death metal. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 1 or 2, but I'm excited to see where it goes.